Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for watching. Today I'm going to be tackling some cherry lumber. I've got two logs in here right now. The one up on the bunk I'm going to cut into 4/4 dimensional lumber, get it drying for some woodworking projects in the future. And I've also got one on the ground right beside the camera here. It's a bit wavier in that, so I might not get the most lumber out of it. I might just end up making that into some live edge boards. I actually haven't cut any live edge yet, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. That'll be nice. I also got a pretty full sawbuck here behind me. May or may not get to cleaning that up today. We'll see how far I get, but stay tuned. I'm gonna tie into this cherry now. Well, there's what the cherry's looking like so far. I've always really liked cherry lumber, and we have quite a few cherry trees on our farm here, so that's good for the sawmill in the future. And for this stuff, I've just actually been using the combination blades. Or have a 10-degree pitch on them. I know with the birch and maple that I've sawn so far this winter, I had to switch over to the 7-degree pitch blades. They worked a lot better, but for this cherry, I guess it's just a little bit softer of a hardwood, so I find that I'm getting away with the 7-degree, or the 10-degree pitch blades, no problem for this stuff, so that's good. Well guys, I've got this cut up into my cant now, so I'm going to be taking some 4/4 boards off. Man, it's just such wicked looking lumber in my opinion. Everybody has their own opinion, I know. There are a couple spots like that are starting to kind of rot out on it, but I mean 99% of the log's in really good shape. And it's probably a good thing that we cut it down when we did, so those rotten spots didn't get a lot bigger, and we're gonna get some good use out of this. I know for woodworking I'll be cutting it into a lot thinner strips than this anyways, so I can just work around those couple spots. Well guys, the first log sawed up there. I ended up with 7 4/4 boards. They're about 8.5 inches wide. But like I was saying before, I'll be cutting them down to whatever widths I need when, I come up with a project for them. But that'll be down the road. They will have to dry for quite a while before I get to that point. But anyways, that's what that log turned out looking like anyways. Really nice in my opinion. And that rotten spot was just on this one piece there. I think one more of these pieces here somewhere has a little bit of it in it too, but definitely didn't turn out to be as bad as I thought it was going to be. But anyways, that's looking really good. So now I've got this log laying on the ground, and you can probably kind of tell it's bowed up in the middle there. And then if you look at it this way, it's kind of bowed this way too. So I think that might make for some interesting live edge lumber. So I'm gonna do that now. Well guys, now that I have this up on a level surface, you can probably tell a lot better just how crooked this log is, which is why I decided to make it into some live edge slabs. It probably looks all the better for that kind of stuff. I guess the first thing I'm going to do is, with this big bend sticking straight up. I think I'm gonna want it oriented in a different way so that the bend is sticking out to the side. That way when I cut the slabs with the sawmill, I'll get more out of the log and this bend will be more incorporated into the slabs. So that's what I'm going to try doing now. The problem is there's bends in it both ways, up and down and side to side, so this is going to be kind of tricky deciding which way I want to go with this, I think. There, I think something like that's going to work a lot better. So I'll slide that over if I can. There. Now the next thing I'm going to do with this log, because it's so wonky, is I'm going to measure. I'm using one of these cherry boards that I just cut just for a straight edge, and I'm going to measure up off of there right to the center of this log on this end, and it's 9.5 inches. Now I'm going to take you down to the other side and do the same thing. Okay, down here at the other end of the log, and it's about 7.5. So this log's really wonky, so obviously there's a pretty big discrepancy from one side to the other. So what I'm gonna do is use my toe kick or toe board to raise this side up a bit so the center of this log's running parallel to the track. So now down at this end, I'm at about 8.5 inches. So I'll go check the other side. And this side's still at 9.5. Usually when you crank the other end up, it brings the far end down a little bit, but that doesn't seem to have been the case here. So I'm gonna crank the other end up a bit more and I'll get back to you then. All right, guys, I'm going to preface this by saying that I'm no expert on the topic. I'm still learning, but I'm just going to show you what my plan is for this log and how I'm going to do it. You can see right now I've got that blade basically right in the middle of this log. So I'm going to take you up here to where the tape measure is. And you can see on this tape measure, there's two different scales. On the left scale, this is just like your standard tape measure, the same as a tape measure like I have in my hand here, but I'm going to be using the one on the opposite side, and this is a 4/4 scale, and it's meant for cutting rough lumber. And if you can see, I'll put my tape measure up beside it. Each inch marker on the magnetic tape measure here is about 1.25 inches on a normal tape measure, and the reason they do that is to allow for finishing, so that if you just cut at each mark here, it's going to end up a bit over 1 inch. So then when you plane it, finish it, sand it, you can finish it down to 1 inch type thing. So having said that, my plan for this log here is to cut it into what they call 8/4 boards, which is 2 of these marks. So like if you went from 0 to 2, that's how thick I'm going to cut these boards at. So that's going to end up being, you know, just a little bit less than 2.5 inches thick. And I'm hoping that I can get 4 of those boards out of this log. So this scale kind of works backwards from what you would think. So the further up I go, the further down on the log it's going to cut. So I'm actually going to, since this is in the middle of the log right now, I'm actually going to move it up to 10 inches. So at 10, that'll be my first cut. And then I'm going to move it down to 8, and then that'll give me my first board, which probably won't be the greatest because the log gets wider as it gets to the center point, obviously. So right now, with my tape being in the center of the log, from 8 to 6 and from 6 to 4 are going to be my two really nice pieces. And then I'll also get another board from 4 to 2, and then from 2 to 0 is going to be kind of your garbage at the bottom again. So I'm going to get started on that. I hope I explained that so it was somewhat understandable if you don't know anything about cutting lumber, but I'm going to get started on this now. That's after that first pass, guys. So this is going to be one of the two boards that won't be as nice as the two in the middle, but it still turned out okay. So I'm just going to drop the mill down and take off my first board. Well guys, there's my first official live edge board I've done. Looks pretty cool if you ask me. You can flip it upside down like that to get a bit more width out of it. Or if you like the look of the bark, you'd have it up that way. And that's the thinner one. Now you can probably see what I was talking about. Now that I'm into the middle, this board's gonna be a lot wider. So I'm anxious to get this one cut now. What I might do just to make it easier on myself is I might just spin this whole slab around now so the flat part's sitting flat on the bunks. Just makes it a lot more stable and easy to cut for myself. So I'm gonna do that now and then get back to you. Well guys, my dream of getting 4 8-quarter boards out of this is not going to work. As you can see, there's just too big of a dip in the middle here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this down another 4-quarter slab, and then maybe I can get 1 4-quarter slab and then still my 2 nice ones. So that's what I'm going to try. Alright guys, well, I made that pass. And there's your 4/4 inch board that I got. Still be nice and usable for something. And I guess this ends up at about 1 1/8 or so. I'll just check it for you in case you're interested at all. Yeah, it's 1 1/8. So basically I'm left with the two best pieces of the whole log that are sitting on the mill there now. So I'm gonna get this cut in half. That'll give me 2 8/4 pieces, or 2 pieces that are about 2 1/4 inches thick. And that's what I'm banking on being really nice out of this log. That's basically what I want out of it, so fingers crossed. Well guys, I don't know if you're as excited to see this as me. Probably not, but I'm pretty excited, so let's try to... I don't know if I'm going to be able to flip this over with one hand. It's... okay. Well, that wasn't the most elegant reveal, but... well guys, there's what it ended up like. I wish I had some water to throw on it for you guys to bring out the grain, but it's really cold around here right now and I don't want a bunch of frozen ice on my lumber, sorry. But anyways, that's that side. I'll flip it around so you can see the other side. Well, there's the other side. I'm gonna give this one a 10 out of 10. It's probably the best board out of that log. This one actually ended up being the biggest one, but you can see here it's got a bit of rot on the end and some discoloration. I'm sure that it can just be cut off there or incorporated. I'm not sure. I don't even know what these are going to be used for yet, but hardwood takes such a long time to dry that I just wanted to get on top of getting some different things cut up so that in the future I have it around. Anyways, that's going to be it for me again today, guys. Hope that you enjoyed watching that. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you next time.